Welcome to TSUKINOKATSURA. Thank you for taking your time. So my name is JUNICHI Masuda. Please call me Jun. This is my dad and this brewery's owner.
Hello, I'm Tokubei Masuda.
So I was born as the eldest son of this family. So our family has a special inherited rules. So once you inherited the business, I have to take over the name of Tokubei. So my father is 14th generation of Tokubei Masuda now. So in the future, with your continued support, I will be the 15th generation of Tokubei in the future. So I look forward to working with all of you guys in the future. So first, let me explain the history of the company. We were founded in 1675 in Edo period, and then the company has been making sake about 350 years old. This is the original scene of our company in Edo period. This scene is like selling sake and like Japanese ingredients in Edo period. So in this area, Fushimi, Kyoto, is developed into the major sake area, brewing this area due to its clean water. So Fushimi is getting famous sake area because of the pure soft water. And there are about 25 breweries around this area. And we are the oldest brewery that has not changed its location and its establishment and continue to do business purely its establishment. And this is because there are many cases where the pharmacies or kimono shops start a sake business in old era. But we've been brewing sake since our establishment. And this brewery, our brewery, is located beside the Kamo River, which is the main river of Kyoto. And the main house is this side, and the other side is the brewery. The primary battleground of the Toba-Fushimi War, which was 160 years ago, was along the road in front of our house. So the brewery and this house were burned down, and there was evidence of the battleground of the cannonballs were found in our garden. This was like about 200 years ago. So from there, it was rebuilt to produce sake again. So the building was rebuilt from there as well. So it's now about 200 years of the building. And it was originally a residential space around here. But we renovated it about 15 years ago and restored it to its like original form, the way it was built after the war. So this house my grandfather used to live in this house, but we renovated as the way built originally. So this space is used to be a kitchen. So this kamado has been preserved from those days and is still used for making this function the end of the year to make rice cakes. This, yes. Also, we are the founders of the Nigori sparkling sake, and is also the oldest brewery in Japan that stores vintage sake. So we've been making vintage sake about 60 years. So you can see the a vintage sake seller later. So also, so this company logo, this is the old company logo, and we changed to this modern logo 15 years ago. So we want to communicate with foreigners, not using a kanji. So we want to using a kind of logo to communicate with the foreigners. So TSUKINOKATSURA means originally a tree named Katsura in the moon. So there was in old time, there was a legend story in China. There's a Katsura tree, which like people try to cut the Katsura tree, but like never died. So means like once you drink our sake, you can alive longer.
And the next, and then rice.
So we will explain the eating rice and how different eating rice and sake rice. So basically, sake rice is very longer than eating rice. So as you can see, this is the eating rice. Basically, we eat. And this is the sake rice. So maybe as you can see, like how different the size are. So like sake rice is very difficult to cultivate the rice. Yes. And also like sake rice has less sweetness than eating rice. So even you try to eat the sake rice, basically it doesn't taste well because there's almost no sweetness. So in addition, we are constantly thinking of innovative products as well as traditional one, and such as the revival of engaged sake rice and development low alcohol. So now it's already 8 a.m., over 8 a.m. in Japan. So we are already brewing a sake over the brewery. So we can see the brewery. So let's go. So this is our brewery. So as you can see, our brewery is like kind of cultural heritage. So we cannot change the outside looking of this brewery. So this brewery is also been over about 200 years. And then you can see the cedar balls over there. The one. This is the traditional sake advertisement. So sake is made from like October to March, basically. And we make the cedar balls at October. So when you start this cedar ball, it was green, and at the beginning of December, it gets brown. So that means like new sake is made. Okay, so let's go inside of the brewery. So this is the brewery where the sake, our sake is made. And first of all, sake is made by water and rice and koji. And also, koji is a fungus that grows on it, like a fermentation it. And there are 5 steps to brew a sake. So 1, washing rice. 2, steaming rice. And 3, making koji. And 4, stocking in the tank. And 5, squeezing. So let me explain the process in detail. So first, washing rice. So we start washing the rice the evening of the day before. So this process is very important in sake brewing. So polished sake is very delicate and it was very difficult to adjust the amount of water contained in the rice. And we wash all the rice by hand and use the stopwatch to ensure that the rice is steamed in the best possible condition under strict time control. And washing time and method varies depending on the rice and type of rice. So one of the techniques in sake brewing is how to preserve the quality of rice. Then, step 2, steaming rice. So step 2 is steaming rice. As you can see, the rice which was washed the day before is steamed in this large kettle called koshiki. So which steams about like 600 kilograms every day and morning in recent years. And recently there are many breweries that use the IH plates to heat the rice, but we continue to use the very classic way to steam the rice method. So I can show you. So we continue to use the very traditional method to using a burner from here. And there is a boil below the kettle through to the chimney. Okay. And below to boil, then the water under the streamer and steam the rice. So maybe the rice will be steamed in maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll show you the another section first, okay? So this is the koji room. So the third step, koji making, is the main element for fermentating the rice for sake. So koji is made from a koji room like this, and also a room dedicated to making koji. So we use 3 different rooms to manage the koji. Also, like koji managed by a polishment degree of the rice. The room is extremely hot and like humid because like we need to stimulate the koji and gives it the power to become the base for alcoholic fermentation. Okay. So as I told you, like we have a 3 section of koji rooms over there and here. So we steam the rice every day and put the tank. Also, we put the rice in koji room to make like a baby fermentation things.
Koji making machine is now very.
So we have a different style of making koji. Over this room is like we use the koji like making machine.
Yeah. Before room is all handmade, and this machine is making koji and a machine. Programming and the machine and making koji.
Okay. じゃあ、あっちもあれですね。よし、タンクの方に。はい。So we want to show you like how we use the rice for sake later, but it's not ready yet. So we will show you the tank first.
How sake making member.
Yeah, so I will explain the sake making member. So we make the sake from October to March. So we have like also like a French guys to making a sake. So we have all like 7 members. So we make sake for 6 months with only 7 people.
He's from France. Hi. Hello.
じゃあこっちでこれ。So after steam the rice, he will wear the long boots and he will get inside of the kettle to squeeze the white rice. まだやな。あと10分ぐらいはあるよな。じゃああっちから説明します。So we will be back here in 10 minutes. So I'll show you the tank first. So this is the room to make a sake. So step 4, stocking in the tank. So this is the tank room. Using the steamed rice and koji, we begin the process of making sake in a full-scale manner. It's difficult to get the right balance of fermentation if we try to make a sake one large tank. So basically, we start brewing with the small tanks first and move it to the large tank and add the water and rice like maybe like 2 or 3 times. Then finally sake will be coming with the large tank. So I'll show you the like fermentation baby in the tank. So we start this small tank to get the right balance of fermentation, then transfer it to the large tank, and add the rice and water. So you can see the bubbles. Okay. So this is the like a fermentation baby. So we can go move to the second floor. Let's go.
Sorry, 2 or 3 minutes after steaming
Oh.
rice.
So in 2 minutes, the steaming rice will be ready. So you can go to the tanks. Okay. Okay. So after steaming the rice, basically we use this machine to manage the temperature of the rice. Because the rice is, if the rice is too hot, sake fermentation will be faster. So we always like adjust the temperature of the rice to brew the sake tank or making a koji. So we are almost ready to steaming. Okay, sorry. So we basically wash all the like tools to brew a sake with no detergent. So we always like wash all the tools with boiled water. So that's why we still use the like these kind of classics like bucket and like kettles. ちょっと寄りでこっち行って。It's been about like 100 years. So we still like keep the very traditional way, even not like sake brewing, even like using the tools are very classical and old. 出来上がらへんな。ちょっと
動いてる。
はい。Also, this is a chimney. So, as I told you, there are about like 25 breweries in Kyoto, but it's only 2 breweries are still using a chimney to brew a sake. So we are the one of them. So every morning, winter is very cold in Kyoto, so every like sake maker is taking like warm stuffs from the steamed air, like him. So finally, it's ready to steam the rice. So you can see like how hot is inside of the kettles. And so steamed rice has a lot of humidity. So we need to touch the rice as much as fast as we can. So here we get inside of the tank, kettles, and squeeze the rice by using a shovel. Also, there are still a lot of rice here. So as I told you, like we put the steamed rice in this function and adjust the temperature to make a perfect condition to brew a sake tank. So today we have three different, we steamed three different rice. So as you can see, like the rice size is smaller than you eat because it's already polished. And also a little bit like sticky than eating rice. So I'll show you the Koji stock rooms from now. これ見えるかな? Fungus. So he's the like a main. So he's the main maker of the making sake called like Koji. So you can see the green things. You can see the green things. This is like a Koji fungus. So during the adjust of the temperature, we put the fungus inside of the rice. So this will be the like first beginning of the fermentation. Okay. Then after adjustment of the temperature of rice, we catch the rice from the machine and bring it to the Koji room from now. How should I do it? このまま見てもらう感じにする? So after we get maybe 3 or 4 set of the rice, we bring it to upside of the Koji room. So please wait for a little bit. So also he is the French guy. So 10 years ago, he drank our sparkling nigori sake in France, in his like hometown. And then he was shocked at the time. So he wanted to make a sake in Kyoto, Japan at our brewery. So he came from over the sea and asked us to like join the making sake. So then since that time, he's been making a sake for about 10 years.
And today's steaming rice and 3 types.
So
another type sake making rice. So first material and next and second material rice.
Also, it's very hard to adjust the temperature and amount of fungus things in the mix up with the white rice.尺があれやな。まあもう行くもんな。じゃあもうこれ飛ばすわ。上行くわ。もう30分経ってるし。いやでも動かさへんよ。じゃあこれ言ってくれへん。これもう持っていくの。あ、もう無理か。So もういいわ。こっちも飛ばすわ。So let's go to the Koji room. So as you see the steamed rice and put the fungus things in there in the first floor, and after put the fungus, we put the koji here to escape the humid. So it's very dry, and it's a little bit yellow than the eating rice because this is already started the fermentating. So it's very like cracky and soft. Yes. So this is like a kind of baby to start fermentating. So we like manage the each section different rice. Sorry. Then and this is the so first step of the stocking the tank. So we basically the ちょっとそのまま写しといてくださいね。どうしようかな。Okay, so the balance of the fermentation in the tank is measured on a daily basis to make sake. So in order to maintain the fermentation balance, the tanks are mixed at specific times with a special long stick called on kai. So basically we use like basically we use these sticks to mix the white rice like this every day and every evening. Okay. Then step 5, squeezing. So for hygiene reason, I cannot show you the final step of the squeezing. Instead, I'd like to show you the cellar where the vintage sake is stored that I mentioned at the beginning. So I show you the vintage sake cellar. Let's go. So this this error should be maybe like a bad signals. So you can see the high vision movie later. Okay, so here is the bottle of vintage sake. In the past few years, it's been getting a lot of attention, but in the past, it was mostly leftover sake that was sold at the vintage sake. However, Tokubei, the 13th generation, like my grandfather, he's a very good knowledge of the Western liquors and try to create a sake that would be completed in 10 to 20 years, like a Roman and Conti. So, by following the method of making the ultimate vintage sake found in the cookbooks of the Edo period, and by allowing the sake to breathe naturally through like seasonal and temperature, changed in a specialized bottle. So we began to produce golden and smoky and like a fresh vintage sake like no other. So it's been like handed down for 3 generations. So from 13th and 14th and maybe me. So 3 generations. And even today, the brewery keeps a yearly stock of vintage sake in bottles. So there are more than 1,000 barrels in the oldest bin. So the oldest one is 57 years old now. So please save your money, and because we are planning to release the 6 years old product in 3 years to the world. So this is all for our process to make a sake brewing at TSUKINOKATSURA. So we will continue to take on various challenges with the theme of tradition and innovation. So please watch over us warmly. Thank you very much for watching the brewery. So let's go back to the house and taste the sake. So let's go back to the house. ちょっと行こう。ちょっと水。So almost squeezed. Okay, so maybe you already wanna drink sake. So this is our products lineup. And as I told you, this is the unfiltered nigori sake, which was like we founded. So you can see the white things. This is moromi. So you saw the steamed rice. This is like a melted rice. So you bottle the, we bottled with rice and sake, pure sake. It's fermenting inside of the bottles naturally. So it gets the sparkling naturally. So when you open it, it bubbles up. Okay. So he will open the bottle. So you can see the small bubbles. So it naturally mixed up. So this method like similar to the champagne. So it tastes like a very dry, but like a silky and milky. We are very sad that you cannot drink with us at the same time. Okay. So you can see the bubbles, sparklings. Okay. So we have many kinds of the great sake. So you can see this is the like how polished the rice. So basically after cultivate the rice, the color is brown, as you know. Then once you polish the so you know the junmai or junmai ginjo, junmai daiginjo, that grade depends on the how polished the rice. So if you polish the rice over 50, you can call the junmai daiginjo. So as you can see, like this rice is very small because it's polished. So it's very hard to manage the amount of the water and like the quality of the rice. That's why basically junmai daiginjo is the high price because it gets time and steps.
Organic rice.
So basically we use the organic rice. So we have a like contract farm near our house, and we also both like cultivated the organic sake rice. So those are like made by organic Kyoto local rice. And this sake is popular in the foreign country. Also, like ANA or Lufthansa airline uses this sake in first and business class, like this size.
The aromatic sake.
This tastes like a very aroma, and the Kyoto water is very soft. And there is also another famous area of brewing sake in Hyogo Prefecture named Nada. So basically, sake tastes compared with Kyoto and Nada sake. So Nada water is very kind of hard, and Kyoto water is very soft. So tastes like a very opposite. So we basically call like Kyoto sake is like a female sake, and Nada sake is male sake. So Kyoto sake basically tastes very like soft and mellow. And once you drink through the mouth, you can like feel the very aromatic, very aroma through the nose.
And this, the name is sake is Hawaii. It's very high quality sake and aromatic, and Junmai. Name is Junmai Daiginjou Shizuku Sake.
So every year we try to do kind of like a brewing technique. We polish the brewing technique also, and this is we use the rice polished with 35%, and also like we don't like squeeze with the machine. It's like only collect the drops from the bags. So okay, so you guys ask us the question in the brewery. So I answered the 3 questions from now. So first question is how many little is in one of those containers? Okay, so 1コンテナでタンクやから1トンって言ったらいいのさっき。
カスク?
Yeah, cask. In the cask? Maybe, yes, そうやな。come here.
21 one tank is 20 liters and 1,200.
日本で言ってくれて。なんて20リットルや。Okay, so maybe you mean the cellar of the vintage sake. Okay, that contains 20 liters of sake. So about like 30 bottles of like this. Also so in addition, the vintage sake, basically the sake has no color, but as the time goes, sake color will be like this brown. So this is like from 1999, so it's been like 20 years. Like this gold color, then smoky and like caramel flavor. Okay, so the second question, and how long do you mature the sake? Okay, so it really depends on the type of sake and type of rice. But basically, どうしようかなんていうかどんぐらいで仕込みますかって言われるけど、酒によっては違うし、basically about 50 days from washing rice to be a real like drink sake. It takes 50 days. Okay, but sometimes like if you wanna squeeze a very fresh sake, it takes only like 30 days, 20 days. But we like adjust very carefully. Depends on the rice and sake. Okay, so third question. What material are those containers made of? Okay. 亀とかって何でできてるん？磁器。セラミックでいいんかな。It's made by ceramic, but we've been making aged sake for over 50 years. So we changed the type of ceramics. So we used like shigaraki ceramics or kiyomizu ceramics, or a lot of like types of sake. A lot of types of ceramic we try. Okay.
新しいセラミックボトル持ってきてあげるわ。セラミックボトル。
で、どうしようかな。はい。 So I'm ready for the next question. Okay. Okay, so 読んじゃっていいですか? Thank you for taking the live stream, Mr. Masuda. How does the amount of the rice polishing change the flavor profile generally? Okay. So generally, if we polish the rice, the taste will be very fresh and very smooth, because like there is like a main core part of the rice called shinpaku. So if you use only shinpaku, the taste will be very like fresh and smooth. So like as you are not polished, the taste will be very dry and a little bit like okay, so like American steak, and like this should be a very like washoku like this. So very like a more sensitive, detailed taste. And if you don't polish, you can feel the more directly more rice flavor. Also depends on the temperature. Even you polish the rice, if you warm it up, your sake taste will be more like white. So you can try. Depends on the temperature also. Okay. And also, so as I told you, we try to use the different type of ceramic, and this is the new model of cellar. So basically, we use the like this is like a cedar wood with the lacquer. We put the lacquer on it and put on it. Then basically put the washi, like Japanese paper, and winter is like cold and summer is hot, and the tank inside of the sake breathe depends on the temperature. Then it gets like a very soft and naturally gets the color of the brown. Okay.
Very old is 55 years ago started aging.
Okay. So next question. How you decide with kind of sake you make? Depend on the season or have any special schedule? How you decide with the kind of sake we make? Okay. 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 So as I told you, sake is made. We are brewing sake from October to March, because like if the sake cannot like patient with the hot weather, so basically like in all the time only winter we can brew the sake. So a lot of like brewery like become a kind of factory to manage the temperature. So basically, these days we can brew the sake from like January to December, but we want to keep these kind of style of the brewery. So we basically only brew from October to March. Okay. Then next question. What kind of water do you use? It's from a river or the defreezing water? Okay. We don't use the river water. We use the groundwater of our location. So we like dig the ground to the like second plate, about like 何メートルぐらい?
About 60 meters.
About 60 meters under. Then like squeeze with the pump to use the brewing sake. So we don't use any like others water. So we keep using groundwater since we established. Okay. All right. Okay. So next question. Apart from the color changing, how does aging affect the flavor of sake? I understand with liquor like rum, the brewery adds flavor and aroma, but I guess the ceramic won't add much flavor. Okay. So ラムとかっていうのはああいうバレルで仕込むから、味とか色がつくっていうのは分かるけど、なんでセラミックってどんな味の影響が出て、なんでセラミックなんですかっていう。
カルボニル反応を起こして、色がついているの、はい。だからそれの糖分を持っているので、日本酒って少し、だからそれがその反応を起こして少し色がついていく。
So it's a very good question, but it's very hard to answer in English. So we can explain you later, but now I'll explain you very quickly the detail. So sake has there is a there is a sweetness in sake. So the sweetness and sugar things like affects the air. Then it gets brown and little bit like a caramel taste. But I can explain you in Japanese, but very hard in English. So I'll send you some details later. Sorry. So I'll go to the next question. When making sake, does the temperature and humidity of each year affect differently? Okay. Okay. So, 毎年のその湿度とか温度とかでお酒ってやっぱ変わりますかっていうのは。Differently, yes. So these days, recently, a lot of breweries want to keep the quality of the sake, even like the weather is hot and cold. But we are kind of like having fun and proud of the making the sake by using only handmade. So depends on the rice quality in every year. Depends on the like humidity and temperature every year. Sake, not quality, but the taste will be like has a up and down. But we think this is the like sake making. So we're proud of it. So maybe you can try our sake every year and like. Yeah, basically wine has a like good year and not like a bad year. Sake basically has a good year and bad year, but we didn't do like these kind of like set. So we try to do a like good year, bad year in the future. So please keep watching warmly. Thank you. So next question, is each batch does the same way following a recipe, or sometimes the sake brewer uses their instincts and adjust to accommodate? なるほど。そのどういうふうに味を決めているのかというか、毎回同じレシピがあるのか、各酒によって直感で仕込んだりするのかっていう。毎回違う。やっぱりその We don't have a like original recipe. We every year changes the taste. Also like what kind of rice we use. Also what kind of like yeast we use. So the owner and me and the owner of the like a factory maker, we always like try to have a conversation to make like a good sake in trend or in classics. So we make the classic one and we make the trend one. Try to do a like cultural and innovation. Okay. So second question, as a smaller scale brewery, do you ever plan become more industrialized to make more batches, or plan to keep everything more traditional and being more shoulder batches and exclusive? Okay, definitely the later one. I mean, like we don't want to do like more industrialized to make more batches. We don't want to do this because like we have a limit to make amount of sake, because we do basically making a sake by handmade. So we want to do a more exclusive, and we want to have a kind of like a salon in the world. So we want to make a customer who can understand the quality of sake and like kind of history of our company and family. Okay. So next question. Thank you for. So last question. So thank you for answering all our questions. Thank you so much too. Can you tell us about the differences when making sake used for cooking? Do any chefs use during drinking sake for cooking? なるほどなるほど。料理酒と日本酒の違いについて、で料理人とかで日本酒って使うことってあるんですか？
はい、あります。まあ和食に関してはそのお料理っていうのは日本酒はとても生臭みをフィッシュフレーバー
So definitely yes. So basically in Japanese food, we use a lot of like fishes and like kind of special smells of the ingredients. So sake can wash the kind of like those flavor, like wash up. So we use the drinking sake to make a washoku or Japanese foods a lot. Okay. Sake and Japanese food, especially washoku, have like developed each other for a long year. Of course, sake is made by rice. Also, sake is grew by the history, Japanese history. So. All types of sake go well with traditional like Japanese ingredients like cooking taste and also aroma. So sake needs washoku, washoku needs sake. So we need to have a long good relationships. And
food in the mouth, mix it in your mouth and enjoy your Japanese food. And all of the sake in the world, Nihonshu sake is the only one that has a name for hot sake. And Atsukan, Nurukan, Shitohadakan, and high temperature is hot, very hot sake.
We have all the names depend on the temperature, even like the same sake. Yes.
Okay. And remember that before he said he removed the fishery smell of fish. Already added sake to my soup stock.
Okay. So please keep watching us warmly. So we are very excited to have your washoku food in the future, collaborate with our sake. So thank you for taking our time today. So I hope to see you after Corona. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get drink and smash it today.
Kanpai. Bye.